What's going on, YouTube and cryptocurrency family? My name is Harry, and I'm the Crypto Vet. Thank you for tuning back in. We've had a little bit of green come back into the market yesterday, and if you watched my video from yesterday, I was mentioning how I'm a little bit concerned this could just be a little bit of a relief rally. So today we're going to go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. We're going to take a quick look at Doge just right at the end, and I'm going to go over this Wyckoff accumulation and Wyckoff events since we did have a lot of questions on Wyckoff in the Discord. I actually did a video on Wyckoff back in January for the XRP, or sorry, the Ripple versus SEC case after the SEC accused Ripple and we had the large fall. So we're gonna go over that today. So if you like that, if you like the content, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. I really appreciate it. Channel's growing really, really fast, and that's thanks to you guys. And I hope I'm bringing content that you guys actually enjoy and find useful. And please remember that I'm trying to, inform anybody who wants to learn. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of me some way, shape, or form. A lot of links for Twitch, Discord, all that stuff is down below. I'd be more than happy to help you, understand chart patterns and kind of understand how I get through the markets and what I am doing. So please do not be scared to ask. So again, Twitter, XRP Veterinarian, so close to 1,000. But we'll go over this today, but this is that Wyckoff accumulation and other things that I post. So, but let's go ahead and get started. If we head over here to CoinMarketCap, we can see that our overall CoinMarketCap is down from, we were up to like 2.2 trillion. We're down to 1.6. This is a lot better than that 1.3 that we were at maybe 2 days ago. Bitcoin dominance is dropping again a little bit, and this is just like we discussed, specifically because as Bitcoin was dropping, the alts bled more, so its dominance technically came back. Even now, the price is slowly going down. The dominance is going down, but it's not because Bitcoin dropped a lot. It's because the altcoins are now going absolutely crazy. You can see here that of the top 10, we have a lot of red still. Only XRP is currently up at the moment. If we go to the top performing coins for the last 24 hours, you can see CeeLo and Holochain doing pretty well. Biggest losers, we got Revain, Phantom, Harmony One, but everybody knows Harmony's been going absolutely crazy. So let's go ahead and dump into the Bitcoin dominance. And when we look here, I'm zoomed in on the daily instead of the weekly that we've been watching, so we can see how we've respected this 20 daily exponential moving average, even on the Bitcoin dominance, right? We use it on Bitcoin. Some people use 21, some people use 20, some people avoid exponential moving averages completely and only use regular moving averages. Whatever your style is, it all just depends on what strategy you use, right? Tons of data out there. You could use market cipher only and just swing trade and make absolute killing, right? And you can use some of these other sniper indicators and really pinpoint the 15 and the 5 or the 1 minute, and you could scalp trade all day, right? It just depends on your strategy and your risk evaluation overall. But so right now we have this 20 daily exponential moving average. When we had the fall for Bitcoin, we finally got out of this oversold territory on the RSI, got above it, and we finally came up to retest the 50, which was previously our very, very, very strong support. It took me too long to get that far on the daily. But now this is the final line that we broke through when we came down, came up, hit it, and now we fell back through our 20 daily exponential moving average. So, what we could be seeing here is that Bitcoin corrected. We had, as Bitcoin corrected, finally reset everything, right? It spiked back up as kind of a relief rally to see where we're going, and now we're going to be coming back down to have another bounce, find support, and we're going to stay in this range until everybody's on the same page and we can move up. Now with that happening, sideways consolidation is absolutely one of the best things for altcoins to actually flourish. And you can see as we drop through this resistance here, or support, and turned it into resistance, you can see on our total altcoin market cap, everything excluding Bitcoin, we can see we came down to touch the 20 weekly exponential moving average right on the golden pocket of our fib retracement for the total altcoin, and we are on support for volume traded right at this golden pocket. So it was very likely that we'd get a support here and have a bounce. Well, we did. So now we came up and we're coming back up close to test this 1 trillion, but at the same time, we're getting back above some key supports here. So what we could be seeing is as Bitcoin dominance is dropping back down now and steadying out, we're going to see these altcoins have their rally to get back up towards the 1 trillion, potentially much, much higher. So if we look at Bitcoin and go with the possibility that Bitcoin was at a top, right? So we went over the full Bitcoin trends and some similarities. The bearish things that we have are still here. We have a bearish cross on the MACD on the weekly. We have RSI dropping below 50, which has not happened in any cycle except for this little spot here, and it only got down to 49. We are down to 43 already, so this is very bearish. But on a positive note, based off of 4-year cycles, we're in the middle of a cycle, so it's very likely that we are just coming back down to back test previous all-time highs, right? Which could be as low as 20,000 if we did that theory. Or we could find support somewhere where we're at now because we are just in the middle and this is just the extension. So 2013, we bounced here, came up. On ours, for our scenario here, we would have to extend out for a couple more months before we finally got that last leg. Well, during this couple of months here, we're going to have altcoins again take off because of their valuation against Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's just not quite ready yet. So with all of this data at hand, there's a lot of stuff telling us that we could still go lower, but there's also a lot of data telling us that we might be just in the middle. So using all of this together, I just don't think that the bearish scenario is going to play out to its full extent. Now, I said we could come down to, say, test the 20, but I don't think we would stay there long. I'm thinking this would be like a wick at best. I really do think that the 30K line is our bottom based off of a lot of other things, including things like the average volume weighted price, and then the Wyckoff accumulation versus a Wyckoff sell-off event that we just witnessed. So if we look at that, we could tell that it's very likely that we're not at a true top. And if we were at a true top anyway, we would still get a little bit of altcoin rally just after, because this is Bitcoin at the top back in 2017. You can see the little dotted lines. As I move them across one chart, they move across the other two. We have XRP and then we have Ethereum. In 2017, when we hit the top, it was not that much longer that XRP and Ethereum hit their tops, and then that was the end. So if that's the case, say we did hit the top, we would be seeing a top for Ethereum here soon and a top for XRP, which would mean that we would be entering a bear market. And from this point forward, it would be 4 years or so before we would actually break the all-time high again at $3 for XRP. And Ethereum actually set its new all-time high, so it achieved it. And that would mean XRP was the only one in this cycle that didn't get it. Possible because of the SEC news and all that. So, but most of these things sound more and more and more unlikely overall. Right. So all of this will be in the Discord and the Twitter if you want to see it. And I'm leaving things on here, even if the comments are irrelevant now, just to show you that, I'm not changing this stuff as it goes. Like, as I write it down, this is what I see. And then I progressively change the annotated charts that I present from there. So now let's go ahead and zoom into Bitcoin here all the way down to the 4-hourly, and this is right where we're at now. And if you watched my previous video, you saw that we had this fear sell-off here due to FUD from Bitcoin, from China, Elon Musk, whatever you want to call it. We had all of this FUD here, and then with the Wyckoff accumulation, the whole goal of it is to try to think of what's going to happen as from like an outside perspective. And this outside perspective that you are looking into is what's called the composite man. And I'll put a link in the description for an article that really goes over Wyckoff events if you really want to get into it. But the whole idea of it is you're going to have your normal like Elliott waves in a sense, where you'll have like a sell-off, right? So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we come all the way back down to the bottom. And this little area here is called the selling climax. Selling climax is where it finally bottoms out. You usually get like a big wick here, and then this big wick in extension to the upside is what's called the automatic rally. So this automatic rally is just like, whoa, these are people buying the dips, retail investors and things like that. And then this is where like the real sell-off actually happens. There's one more final sell-off, and this can actually create a lower low, or it can stay within these supports. So I have supports and resistances, and these are just levels that form within the Wyckoff pattern. And I think I have the website up. Here we go. So like this is just the normal Wyckoff explanation of the composite man and everything, and then here's the typical layout of what it looks like. So these support and resistance lines, let me get back to the right chart, are just representing those there. We have the automatic rally, We finally come down, secondary test, and then now we're stuck in between support and resistance here for this Wyckoff accumulation. So this phase A is where the first part, selling climax and the automatic rally occur. During phase B, this is where we get the secondary test to determine where our support levels actually are. And you can see at the same time of doing this secondary test and in phase B, we actually broke above a key resistance line here of a downtrend for Bitcoin. So this is very, very bullish. And where have we seen this exact decline in support resistance like trend before? Well, all I did was scroll back to about a month and a half ago, and I did a ghost pattern of exactly something that looked like this. What happened afterwards, and it fits the Wyckoff accumulation very, very well. We will stay in phase B, and this is where we were trying to figure out where the low is, the real low, or is this the low? So during this time, we will accumulate and bounce between support and resistance very, very frequently. And this phase can take, you know, a long time, not very long. It just depends on where the market is. But the key thing to remember is where are we as far as support and resistance. So I copied this pattern. It shows us riding this trend line down exactly, bouncing up and actually getting a little bit higher than we did before, which if you look here is a little bit higher, right? At some point we're bouncing in between these different areas. And then we can either have the spring if we are getting ready to move out of phase C into phase D, or we can have like the final shakeout. And this final shakeout is where we can have that last lower low here. And this is where I'm thinking that 27,000 would be the final low that we would get if we did drop again, or we could just slowly sideways trade in here until we hit phase D, where we finally get above previous resistance that we couldn't overtake. Then we start to get some signs of strength. Signs of strength, we finally overcome resistance that we haven't seen previously in the recent short term, and then we go for a breakout. So, you know, this Wyckoff accumulation on the bottom works just as much as what we saw for the Wyckoff event that a lot of people have been describing, which is the most typical one, which is the top. So here, this one here, distribution Wyckoff. So, you know, of course, that time when we hit the high, got really close, that was the actual top. This was us trying to sell over, volume starting to decrease, volume's really starting to decrease, bam, sell off. And then as we hit this phase E, at some point, we are going to phase E our way all the way down into a phase A of the Wyckoff accumulation, which I do believe we are seeing right now at the moment. So in the short term, we definitely need to see Bitcoin get above this 40K resistance. This is a key line. This is where the 13 weekly EMA hits. This is a big even. This is where there's a lot of volume support. So this is going to be the tough point to get above. But if Bitcoin can get above this 40K point, it should be pretty easy to at least get this daily to move above and hopefully not actually have the bearish cross. But it's looking like we will have the bearish cross. One thing I did want to show you that maybe not to fear as bad is this is XRP during December. This is where we had the SEC sell-off, and we actually crossed the 20 daily and weekly moving averages here in a bull run, which usually does not happen. Well, then right over here, we crossed again and started. So this actual bearish cross, I think, was due to the excess fear caused by the SEC sell-off. So what if we have excess fear at this point, and that's why we're actually having this bearish cross on the weekly and daily, and we'll actually just come down a little bit, pop back up, and then continue the rally in a month or so for Bitcoin. So that's kind of where I think we're at. We still need to see where Bitcoin goes before we can judge things like Ethereum and XRP. But Ethereum here is potentially going to close the weekly above the 20 daily, which is very, very good. But this is against Bitcoin. So as long as Bitcoin continues to do what it's doing right now, it may take a while before Ethereum can get its legs to actually get moving. If we really zoom in on the daily here, you can see we're printing a green dot buy on Market Cipher, and we're also rounding off this daily on the MACD, and we're back inside our ascending channel, just like we were hoping we'd get when we went one deviation above, fell one deviation down. Now we're back into what was like a safer zone, and we're at the bottom of this support. So this could be a very, very good trade to ride up from, you know, like 2,600 to maybe as close as 3,000, depending on, you know, where we're at in time and the moving average actually is, but you can see how well these lines are being respected. So a pump up to roughly 2,800 is to be expected, and then from there maybe all the way back up to close to 3,700. Looking at XRP, saying if we get back in the triangle, something magical might happen. Nothing magical. But the best case scenario is that we double bottom somewhere between 86 and $1. And, of course, 86 was this line here. And I was hoping we'd stay in there, but we actually dropped lower. So that same Wyckoff accumulation can be presented exactly like we did with Bitcoin, but with here for XRP. And that's where I just drew these horizontal lines. We had the sell-off. This was like the relief rally, and then it fell, didn't set a lower low, came down. Here's the true low, so just depending on how you apply any of these theories or indicators, it just depends if you respect them in your strategy. So as of right now, we haven't been able to get above this $1.07 and hold, right? So if we actually drew a line to the top of this 1.07, if we were to get above that point, that's going to be where we would start seeing the signs of strength in regards to, where was it at? Signs of strength in regards to the Wyckoff accumulation here, and that we might actually start to break to the upside. Where was that at? Right here. So we could see a little bit of, wait, where's my little drawy tool? Do I have a drawy tool? Here we go. Yeah, so we get up, we actually come here and then make our way up to get above this, maybe even get back into that magical triangle, right? So for now, again, I hate to say it, I'm still just going to sit back and wait. We're going to see what happens if, Bitcoin can do a couple more days of sideways or maybe regain some of these key supports. We could be better off, because right now this is more bearish for Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin falls, also going to go with it. But if we can get back over some key supports and then hover there, I'd be more inclined to dick around with some alts actually going up in the long positions. But that's going to do it for this video here. Please let me know what you think. Let me know if the Wyckoff stuff was helpful or not. There are tons and tons of other theories and things that can be applied. Like I said, it's just how you use them. So if you guys have any other indicators you want me to explain or go over, please just let me know. But otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one.